Alrighty, we are live. What's going on, Knicks Nation? As your New York Knicks defeat the Chicago Bulls by a final score of 105-99. Back-to-back game for the New York Knicks. They didn't get into Chicago until about 3 a.m., according to Mike Breen on the broadcast. And look, it was a little bit too close for my liking, but you got it done. A win's a win, right? And you know, Karl-Anthony Towns was absolutely incredible in this game. Back-to-back games where Cat has looked like a monster out there on the basketball floor for the New York Knicks, right? A monster. So shout out to the chat. Strap in. Knicks Nation post-game show just getting started. So, yeah, I mean, Cat was awesome, you know, especially in the first half, getting to his spots, hitting his threes now. Seems like Karl-Anthony Towns got his stroke back, and he's playing with confidence. And, you know, 5 straight games with 20-plus points for Karl-Anthony Towns now. And let's not gloss over the fact that Cat now leads the entire NBA with 29 double-doubles on the season as he picks up another double-double for the New York Knicks. Karl-Anthony Towns. So Cat has 29 double-doubles on the season, picks up another one tonight. And, you know, in the fourth quarter especially, there was a sequence where he hits a three, pump fakes, drives to the basket, hits the layup. Then he got fouled and, you know, gets to the free throw line. So back-to-back possessions that kind of swung the game back in the New York Knicks' favor, right? And then obviously Mikal Bridges kind of sealed the deal at the end, hitting that corner three. And that's kind of like what sealed the deal with for this win. And, you know, Jalen Brunson got trapped. He did a great job reading the play, gave it to Mikal Bridges in the corner for a three. And that's kind of like Mikal Bridges in a nutshell, right? He gets benched in the first half, you know, for Jose Alvarado's playing over him in the first half, second quarter. And rough start for Mikal, turnovers. Alvarado's playing over him, right? And, you know, I don't know what happened in the first half for Mikal Bridges. He seemed like he's put together, you know, some inconsistencies is back with him is what I'm saying. But, you know, that's just Mikal, and I'm just happy he hit that corner three. That's pretty much how he is in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen. So appreciate you guys in the chat. Shout out to the chat. Smash the like button, ladies and gentlemen. And here's your box score. So 105-99. Shout out to the members in here. Loud and clear. Isaiah, see you in the chat. Tony, what's going on? What's going on? Haven't seen you in here in a while. Daniel, what's going on? Happy Sunday, everyone. Chris Gotti, salute. Joel, Bridges with the dagger. Ronald, yes, sir. What's going on, chat? Jose says, Cat is heating up. Karl-Anthony Towns is back, ladies and gentlemen. Ronald says, Cat won me some money on a FanDuel. Man, shout out to you for betting that, and shout out to Cat for winning you some cheddar. That's always nice. Barney says a win is a win. Joel says we're used to Mikal being inconsistent. CJ salutes. Salute CJ. Tony, what's going on, Tony? Tony says, Coach Brown, when are we going to start talking about Hart and Bridges getting way too many minutes when they aren't producing? What is the issue with the yeah, we'll talk about the rotations. You know, it's something that Mike Brown has been navigating. It came out that Rick Brunson has been helping him in terms of the substitution patterns, and we saw a lot of that in the game versus the Houston Rockets. Rick Brunson pretty much subbing guys in and out as the assistant coach, and Mike Brown is still navigating this thing, and, you know, we'll talk about that. But once again, your New York Knicks win 105-99. Ladies and gentlemen, Karl-Anthony Towns, man, this is how you play. Look, I came out after the Houston game yesterday, and I said, if Karl-Anthony Towns plays like this, the New York Knicks are a problem. And it seems like he's got his stroke back. It seems like he's got his threes back. And it seems like when those threes are going in, man, it opens up a whole lot offensively for Karl-Anthony Towns. It just gives him like a superpower. Just gives him so much confidence out there, right? And like I said, leads the NBA with 29 double-doubles, 5 straight games with 20-plus points, right? So this was the Cat game. Closed it out in the fourth. 3 straight possessions where Cat scored there in the final couple of minutes. Closed it out and gave you 28 and 11. And quite frankly, the Bulls had no answer for him. None. You know, he was the offense. And Shamet with 4 threes, man. Landry Shamet, what were the odds of Landry Shamet having a better season than Mikal Bridges this year? What were those odds? Could you believe if we didn't re-sign Landry Shamet in the summertime? Landry Shamet is legit having a better season than Mikal Bridges. Like, it's crazy. Impactful stuff from Shamet. He comes in and just does his job and hits his threes. And 4 of them tonight, 16 points for Landry Shamet off the bench. Let's go, Shamet. Got to get to this super chat. Him, 2722 with the super chat. Appreciate you with the super chat. He says, Knicks get the win. We're getting like a foot of snow tomorrow, so I don't have to go to my office. And it's my birthday. Sounds like a good night to me. Happy birthday, him, 2722. Happy birthday, him in the chat. Snow day, and it's your birthday. Man, just sit back, relax. Those are the best days, man. Those are the best days, honestly. Well, you don't have to go anywhere. You just chill, watch some movies. Those are the best. Appreciate the super chat. Shout out to you, him. Happy birthday as well. Loud and clear says Cat might get the hard hat. Loud and clear, what's going on? Yeah, look. If Karl-Anthony Towns plays like it's simple. Like, it's a simple recipe. If Cat plays like this, the Knicks are really freaking good. And look, it got dicey there at the end, right? The Bulls were they're like your annoying little brother today, annoying little cousin. Like, it just would not go away in that fourth quarter. And, you know, even though the Bulls are trying to tank. They've lost now, 8 straight or 9 straight games. So now the Knicks are 37-21. We're 2 games over 500 on the road. So, yeah, man. So Brunson gives you 19 and 9 assists. This is what you love to see, the 9 assists from Jalen Brunson. You love to see that. Shout out to JB. And, you know, Brunson, Cat, OG 2 steals, 9 rebounds, 3 stocks for OG Anunoby. Cat with 3 steals, ladies and gentlemen. Man, I really do hope this is kind of like a turnaround for Cat. I really do, because we've been getting on him, right? And for good reason. But this is why we've been getting on him. Tanzir says Cat got defensive player of the game. Yes, let's go. Shout out to Cat. Shout out to Cat for getting defensive player of the game, man. Even versus the Rockets, he was really good defensively on Sengun. Sengun was like, couldn't do anything in that fourth. And Cat was playing aggressive. Like, come on now. Like, this is why we get frustrated with him, because he's like super talented. And yet he has games where he's just iced out in the offense. And whether you want to point that finger to Mike Brown, you can. I think it's equal blame to go around, but Cat has been phenomenal versus the Rockets, and tonight was just incredible basketball being played from your big man. You know, and a night where, you know, OG shoots 0 of 4 from 3, right? Josh Hart finally gets one to go, but Cat, Nick shot 15 of 42 from 3. 5 of them were from Cat. 4 of them were from Landry. Alvarado 1 of 6. So if Karl-Anthony Towns continues to play like this, the Knicks are in a really good spot. And it's his threes, guys. It's his cheat code. It's kind of like his superpower. If Cat's threes are going in, he's a different player. And that has been missing in his game, right? Career low from 3. I'm sure it has crept up over these last few games, right? If you go to his game log, he's actually been shooting better from 3, right? So, you know, during the All-Star game, he gives you 4 of, it really started with the All-Star game. He gives you 4 of 5, right? Philly, 101. Detroit 104. That was a game where everyone was like ice cold. Houston 3-3. Tonight 5-9. So Karl-Anthony Towns is starting to get his stroke back. And that just unlocks so many different things within this offense. And that's what, quite frankly, has been missing in his game is three. He's just been missing clanking. But not only that, he's posting up. He's dominating the paint. The offensive rebounds, the double-doubles. Really good game from Karl-Anthony Towns, man. Shout out to the big cat, the big bodega. And he got the hard hat and Tim's. And it was much deserved for Karl-Anthony Towns. Shout out to the chat. Appreciate every single one of you guys in the chat. Back-to-back games are always tough. Even with travel to Chicago, Knicks didn't land there till the wee hours of the morning. After, let's be honest, an emotional win in the Garden versus the Houston Rockets. The Knicks, quick turnaround right before the snowstorm, hopped on a plane and beat the Chicago Bulls, man. So Yabusele, doing all the Mikal Bridges Sellies out there. He did the nosebleed Selly. He did the little head nod Selly. Yabusele wanted to hand it to his former team. And what did he finish tonight? I think he hit a few threes tonight, right? He had 3 threes tonight for Yabu, 11 points. He's gonna play a lot. They're tanking over there. But it wasn't a pretty start for Mikal, especially going back to Mikal. But the roller coaster of the season, man. It's like, I tweeted on the Knicks Nation page in the first half. I'm like, can somebody tell Mikal Bridges that the game started? Because he was awful in the first half. He was awful. And, hits the 3 there in the fourth quarter. But I'm just hoping, like, he goes from the finding himself, the looking himself in the mirror, to being uncoachable, to having, like, this nice stretch of games. And you're like, okay, Mikal Bridges is back. To now it's like more of what we've been seeing from him. And I don't know what to make of it. I don't. But look, we won the game. He hits a big 3. That's Mikal Bridges, the player, in a nutshell. Like, I don't know what to make of it, But, Josh gets back on track. 11 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists for Josh Hart. OG plays in a back-to-back. I thought OG was going to be out tonight because of his toe, but he plays 34 minutes in a back-to-back, and away we go. Away we go. Let's hit some of your comments, ladies and gentlemen. Him says, now we got to beat Cleveland. Yes, Cleveland. Cleveland is up next on the docket. 86 Smur, what's going on? Appreciate you in the chat, 86 Smur. El Figgy is in the building. What's going on, El Figgy? Yes. A win is a win. And in dominating fashion from your big man, Karl-Anthony Towns. Back-to-back nights where he looked really well, right? And you take this one. These wins are important. Boston keeps winning. Cleveland on your tail. These wins matter. You got to beat the teams you're supposed to beat this late in the season when it's the end of February, right? And we'll come back to this box score, but I'll take a look at the standings. Oh, Cleveland lost tonight to OKC. So, hey, now, the New York Knicks are now a full game above the Cleveland Cavaliers. How about that? So, the game versus Cleveland's still big. You can kind of separate yourself, right? 2 games if you win in Cleveland. So, Cleveland loses tonight. You're now in the 3rd seed. Boston keeps winning. So, I really think the top 6 is set in the East, but we'll see. And I think the Knicks can finish anywhere from 2 to 5, right? And I think they're going to finish 2, 3, or 4, but they can finish anywhere from 2 to 5. And I think 5 is like, no, I don't see them finishing 5, but I think they could finish 2, 3, or 4. And away we go, right? So these games matter. These games are important. They start a road trip, going to Cleveland next. That game is on Peacock. Hello. Peacock. On Tuesday. Man, the schedule is in kind, man. You had a game Saturday, yesterday, today. You get a day off. Then you got a game on Tuesday. 3 games in 4 nights for the New York Knicks. 3 games in 4 nights at Cleveland. But hey, it should be a nice game, and hopefully we can pull out with a win. And then you got Milwaukee and San Antonio. But big win for the New York Knickerbockers, ladies and gentlemen. Big win. El Figgy says, smash that like button. Yes, please hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Would really appreciate that. And thank you for the support. If you're new here, hello. My name is Anthony. I do these post games after every single Knick game, unless something has come up and I'm just unavailable, and then I'll, do a recording. But yeah, man, big win. Rotations were, I would say like fourth quarter, I was questioning the rotations still with Mike Brown. He's subbing a lot. Like he's sub happy. He's kind of trigger happy with his subs. And Sohan plays in the first half. Alan, appreciate the sub. Sohan plays in the first half. Second half too. Sohan plays over Mohamed Diarra. And this is the first game where Diarra gets the crappy end of the stick because of Jeremy Sohan being here. And I would say, Sohan gives you 2 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. I know Mike Brown still wants to give Sohan a look, but this was kind of like the first game where you didn't see Diarra at all. And I'm not sure if I like that, to be honest with you. I'm not. Because in the limited minutes Diarra is playing, he's playing really well. And it's kind of annoying that he's the odd man out here, right? He's done nothing but play well, do his job, play well. And I'm hoping over time that will kind of fix itself out. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe Sohan takes off with the job. But that was my only concern with the Sohan signing, was the Diarra minutes. And it really hasn't been a thing until tonight. And you would think off a back-to-back, you would want to play your 20-year-old rookie, fresh legs out there. But he really wants to integrate Sohan in the lineups, in the rotation. So be it. It's not like Sohan did anything spectacular tonight, but it's not like he did anything poor either. But I would want to play your 20-year-old rookie who's just been incredible this season, right? And I don't know. Is that just me? Right? Like, am I on an island there? But, like, what do you guys think? I just think him getting a DNP tonight it doesn't sit well with me. But yet we won the game, so I'm not complaining. I'm just trying to get in Mike Brown's head. I understand he's trying to play Sohan. I understand he wants to integrate him in the system, but Diarra is a way better shooter. He's proven that. He's shooting, 40% this year. He's a good passer. He's a pretty good defender. So I don't know. That was my only issue with the signing of Sohan. So we'll see on Wednesday. Like, if this is back-to-back, if Wednesday, when did I play? Tuesday, if it's back-to-back DNPs for Muhammad, then I'm not gonna like that, to be honest with you. So we'll see. Chris Gotti says Sohan needs to play with shooters, not non-shooters. Yeah, he had him in the lineups with Alvarado and Cat in the first half, and who else was out there? I think OG wasn't out there. I think Alvarado was running the point. Cat, Huck Porty. That's another one. Huck Porty has been, I tweeted on the X account at Knicks Nation. I thought Huck Porty was going to have a sophomore leap and have a really good season for the New York Knicks. He's been quite a disappointment for this team, Aria Huck Porty. Now, to be fair, he really hasn't played. He really hasn't had any consistency with the squad. But, he hasn't really done anything special like Mohamed Diarra has, right? we haven't really seen anything that jumps off the page from him. Had a nice alley-oop dunk tonight. Alvarado with a beautiful pass to him. But not much. Not much else from Ario. And that's been kind of a disappointment. So, Allen says Bulls lost 8 in a row, many injuries, and Knicks barely won. Very worrisome. Yeah, look, I get it, But shout out to Big Cat, Allen. Shout out to Big Cat. He really took over in that 2-minute stretch there in the fourth. Again, he hits a 3, then has a pump, then does a pump fake, then drives to the basket, nice layup, then gets fouled. So 3 straight possessions where Cat impactful stuff offensively, and shout out to the big bodega. It's the NBA. Like, these wins, I said it. I tweeted it. I said, why are we so close with this team? But they won, right? They won the game. Again, they didn't get there till like 3 a.m. But Bulls also had it back-to-back, but they were home yesterday. So, a win is a win. You separate yourself a game from Cleveland by doing so. And now you have a chance to separate by 2 games on Tuesday when you play the Cleveland Cavaliers in Cleveland, right? And hopefully we can build off the Houston win. Now that's 2 straight games and 2 more on the road before you head back home. So hopefully they can build off of this and let's go. Before you know it, it's March and then mid-March and then April and then let's go. It's go time. It's go time. No Mitchell Robinson in this game as well. Back-to-back. Knicks still not playing him in back-to-backs, nor that they should, because there are no back-to-backs in the playoffs. So you should not want to push playing Mitchell Robinson in a back-to-back just because. If you haven't done so already, why do it now? Like he said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Shout out to the chat. Appreciate every single one of you guys in the chat. CJ says you could play GTA and Diarra, easy match. And they have. Right? Mo comes in the game versus Houston. Has a nice layup, drive to the hoop, has a nice pass, and played what? Like 2... What did he play? Versus Houston. 4 minutes. Right? 4 minutes for Mo. I know what Mike Brown's trying to do. I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to integrate Sohan in the system. But you have to be careful here because you have a rookie that's kind of like really good. Like he's good. Right? He hasn't done anything to be benched or limit his minutes. I mean, the game at Philly, when the Knicks had that amazing game, he had 4 threes. I mean, guys, his 3-point shot this year has just been, he's shooting 40% from 3. Mo. So, I don't know. I'm hoping somebody would ask Mike Brown, but I just want to see him. And look, tonight was the first night, to be fair, tonight was the first night Mike Brown played Sohan and did not play Mo. Now, maybe on Tuesday he plays Mo and doesn't play Sohan. Maybe he's kind of staggering their playing time like that. But still, I think Mo just deserves to play consistently. Like, I don't think it should be a question to even think about playing Mo. I think he needs to play. Like, I think he's that good. He impacts the game in so many areas, So we'll see regarding that. We'll see. El Figi says, should at least find minutes for Kolek, Clarkson, and Diarra against Milwaukee. That's the thing. Like, find minutes for Kolek and Clarkson against Milwaukee. Okay, I get that. But you shouldn't have to find minutes for Diarra. Like, he should already be in the rotation. And he kind of has been. Like, he has been. So there shouldn't be any searching for minutes for Mo. Like, he should be, okay, this is Mo's spot. Like, let's keep playing him. Let's reward him for his good play. Because he's really good. So that's something I'm watching, and I'm hoping that can fix itself. But we'll see. This was the dilemma with Sohan coming here. Joel says, I think it's a combination of seeing what Sohan is about, but also maybe they don't want Diarra's value to go up. Yeah, look, I've heard of that theory too. The Knicks kind of limiting Mo's minutes because they don't want his value to go up because he's a restricted free agent this summer, and they don't want a team to overpay for him. And due to the salary restraints, maybe they're in a position where they don't want to match because XYZ. But I don't think that's the case. I think he's a Knick no matter what. I don't see a team overpaying for him. But then again, if I was a team on the outside and I see his potential and he's 20 years old and he's only getting better, maybe I do throw him a lot of money. So I've seen that theory floating around. I don't necessarily maybe, but who knows? Maybe. Him says Brown was an upgrade over Thibs. Man, haven't heard that in a while, him. All I see on X is like a lot of fans just annoyed at Mike Brown. And in the chat, I see it too because of his substitution patterns, the lack of adjustments, the cat dilemma. So, look, the New York Knicks are still in a really good spot. It is still February. We are, what are we now, 37-21 on the season. So, you're 7-3 in your last 10. You've won 2 out of your last 3 games, with one of those losses being against Detroit. You're in the midst of a gauntlet schedule. You're adding new pieces, Alvarado, Sohan, in the middle of the season. So a coach that is already trying to find his substitution patterns has now just been thrown Alvarado and Sohan in the mix, with Alvarado being the easy guy to play because of Deuce's injury. But now he just has to navigate the Sohan Diarra minutes, and we'll see. They're in a good spot. Mike Brown is not going to get judged until the playoffs. That's it. Like, you can't really judge him now. You just have to wait and see how it shakes in the playoffs, right? But the substitutions, in my opinion, have to tighten up a tad bit. They cannot be like all over the place a little bit, which they have been. He gets too trigger happy, but I'm not going to complain about it because that's what I wanted with Thibs. Like, I wanted Thibs to experiment with different looks and different lineups. So I can't sit here and say that I don't like it when I didn't like it from Thibs, where he just stuck with his same lineup over and over again and didn't deviate. So, Eddie says, very sloppy play today. Yeah, look, Bulls, I was nervous there in the fourth quarter. I'm not going to lie to you. I was nervous, but I wasn't never like, we're losing this game. I wasn't never like that. So, sloppy play, but it's the NBA. Johnson says, I don't think Diarra should be benched for Sohan. He plays much better in my eyes. Agree. We'll see on Tuesday. I'm not going to like it if Diarra gets another DNP on Tuesday against the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's for sure. He's deserved to play, Diarra. He deserves to play. He has deserved to be in a rotation. You shouldn't have to find minutes for him. He should be automatically in that rotation. So we shall see. So, him says, I don't think he's that much better, but still a small upgrade. Yeah, agree. Chris Gotti says, shout out to Thibs. D-Dot is in the building. What's going on, D-Dot? Appreciate you in the chat. Salute. Not a great performance tonight, but I'll take the W. That's exactly how I feel. Not a great performance, but you take the W and you move on. Got the Discord link in the chat. I see 2 people waiting in the Discord. So I'll get to your calls a little bit later. I see Yuri and Mets 2128 waiting in the Discord. Please be patient with me. I'll get to your calls in a little bit. So, yeah, big game from Big Cat. Circling back to Big Cat. Monster game. you know, monster. Back-to-back big games from Big Cat. And let's be honest, you know, coming off the Detroit game, right? Cat has now answered the bell. 2 straight. Let's keep it up. Let's keep it up. This is all-star Cat right here. This is all-star Cat that we're seeing. 28 and 11 with 5 threes, 5 triples, 3 steals. This is all-star Cat. Let me get the defensive player of the game picture up in here. If they have updated it, hopefully they have. '86 Smur says, I hopefully Deuce will be back for the playoffs. Deuce is traveling with the team, so I'm looking at that like a good sign because Deuce is on the bench with the team. And he's traveling with them. So I'm looking at that like a good sign. Like he's not staying back and rehabbing. I'm looking at that like, okay, he feels good, better. Like he's traveling with the team. Maybe he's getting his workouts in with the team, and let's go from there. But Deuce is, I'm under the assumption that we're gonna have Deuce McBride back in time for the playoffs. So that's I'm under the assumption regarding that. So, yeah, after the big comeback win versus Houston, they come back and beat the Bulls. They get it done. Chicago is tanking. Yabu with the sellies, the Mikal Bridges sellies, the nosebleed, trolling Mikal Bridges. But we move on. El Figgy says, I think the team was tired and looking tired from yesterday's game, not reading too much into it. Yeah, it happens, right? I mean, you got 83 of these things. I keep calling it an 82 game season, but the Knicks will play 83 games this year because of their game against the Spurs for the NBA Cup. So you got 83 of these things, right? And it's a long season. It's a grind, you know. In 2 weeks, we will not be talking about how it looked. We would just be talking about the W in the win column. Now, to be fair, the Knicks have been a roller coaster all year. It's been the most frustrating team in a while. 1 week, they're great. 2 weeks, they're great. 3 weeks, they're amazing. Reeling off 8 straight. And then they're having stinkers against Detroit. They're looking like shaky, even tonight a little bit, but they were looking shaky. But you're just hoping as a Knicks fan that they put it all together come April, you know. And I have confidence that they will. I still do think this team, as talented as it is, will get there. We'll get to the promised land, but we'll see. We'll see. They got a lot of work to do. Joel says, we usually have these types of games against tanking teams for some reason. And look, we lost to Chicago earlier this year, right? We lost in Chicago, if I'm not mistaken, earlier this year. That was like one of the first 5 games of the season, if I'm not mistaken. Chicago has always been like, yeah. Oh, look at that. The 5th game of the season. Hey, now. 5th game of the season, they lost 135 to 125 to Chicago. Now, different team. They were motivated back then as well. But, yeah, I mean, you take it, right? You take it. Next up for the Knicks, at Cleveland, then at Milwaukee, right? No Giannis in that one, so that should be a win. Then San Antonio next Sunday in the Garden, March 1st on ABC Sunday afternoon. Then, you know, a tough 4-game stretch. Toronto, OKC, Denver, the Lakers, Clippers, Utah. Utah has been a house of horrors for this team over the years, right? Man, Utah. So this is a tough stretch, but 2 straight, you get back on track. You're 3 games from your 40th win this season, and let's go. Let's end this season with the bang. So, Chris Gotti says we played down to the competition. Yeah, 86. Yep, on a Halloween night. Yep. Halloween night. That's when the New York Knicks lost to the Bulls. So big game from Big Cat. Trying to see if we have any pictures. Josh Hart is a fool, man. You guys saw Josh Harden bending the bowl, playing like air hockey before the game. Hilarious. Josh Hart is a fool, man. So Cat has won Defensive Player of the Game. That has been confirmed by you guys in the chat, and obviously confirmed here. No pictures have come out yet. I wonder if they posted it on their Instagram. But yeah, man, 2 straight, and you get it done. You get it done, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to the chat once again. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, all the good stuff. Hit the Discord, ladies and gentlemen. Those of you that want to call in, you can. Please do. Let's hit the Discord. Let's get to Yuri first. Yuri, what's going on? Welcome to the Knicks Nation Postgame Show. What's going on?
Oh man, what a game, huh? What a game.
Win's a win, even baby. Let's go. Big Cat.
Yep. Big Cat. Cat, welcome back.
Yep.
And I think he took that Shaq interview personal. I really think he did, Ant.
I'm hoping that, look, he had a good game versus Houston, and then he did the interview, and then, look, it's his threes, Yuri. When his threes are falling, he's a different player, and his threes haven't been falling, but now they're falling, and he's feeling good about himself, and I love it.
And now that we have Mike Brown simplifying the offensive schemes for him, along for everyone else,
yeah,
I'm excited to see where this Cat goes now. Do we get the same Cat every game? Or is this like a slowly time showing? Again, I'm happy we got the win. Everyone contributed in some way. Mikal hit a three to extend the lead to 6. That basically was the dagger for us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy Mikal continued to shoot the way he shot. Hey, Ant, I don't want to hear it, bro. He plays every game.
Yep.
And he gives it his effort. All is of how it is.
Yeah, he does. Again, I hear that a lot, but
Deuce is traveling with the team.
Let's be honest, Yuri. He needs to be more consistent, man. I cannot have Landry Shamet. Landry Shamet has had like a better year. It's crazy to think about.
That pisses me off. That's pissing me off.
Yeah.
And now, you might have to, if Landry that contract in the offseason, you might have to.
Yeah.
You might have to give him 2 years. Going to be interesting to see what happens in this offseason, man. It really is.
It is, Yuri. It is.
Also, good positive sign. Deuce is traveling with the team, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. I spoke about that. I saw that. I brought that up because 86 Smurr said hopefully Deuce will be back soon. I think we'll get Deuce McBride back for the playoffs. So.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that too. But I think the Knicks are keeping it on a down low. They don't want teams knowing about his injury. You know how Knicks are with the media. We got Cavs this week.
Yep.
That's going to be a tough game, especially with Harden and the Cavs. I know they lost to OKC, so they're going to be looking for a win.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough game, but let's win.
Let's win. Come on, we gotta take back the second seed. Gotta get it back. Get the second seed back. Thankfully, they got a day rest off.
3 games in 4 nights for the New York Knicks coming up on Tuesday versus the Cavs, and I'm hoping they can pull that one so you can separate them. So they can separate themselves more from Cleveland. What else you got, Yuri? You got anything else?
That's it, bro. I just wanted to come on, say hi, get my thoughts on the game.
Let's go. Hey, I heard you on LV Live the other night. Shout out to you. I heard you on LV Live calling in.
That's what's up, on my homies, man.
I gotta get I gotta get LV back on the show. LV's doing big things over there. Yuri,
he's doing great.
Appreciate the call, Yuri. All right, now let's get to hold on. Mets 2128. What's going on? What you got tonight?
Not much. I mean, glad the Knicks won and Cat's finding his stroke again.
I'm glad the Knicks won too. I'm glad Karl-Anthony Towns is hitting his threes.
Just becoming more of a struggle to see.
Go ahead.
It's just getting more and more frustrating to see this team play teams that on paper they should beat, but yet turn it into a damn Widowmaker.
It was frustrating tonight, especially in the fourth. It was, extremely frustrating, but I just like the sequence where Cat took it upon himself and dominated, right? Back-to-back-to-back sequences where he scored or he got to the free throw line and Mikal hits the dagger three and then on we go, right? But, hey,
True.
It's the NBA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What else you got? You got anything else?
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, we just need that 2 seed at any and all costs. But we need Boston to slip up, and they did not do that tonight against the Lakers. Again, this was supposed to be their damn rebuild year, and yet they're shaking off the Tatum injury like it was nothing.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And I think Jason Tatum's coming back for them. We'll see if they... We'll see. I still do think there's a world where the Knicks catch him. We got them one more time this year. And I think if the Knicks win that, then we get the tiebreaker. So I want the 2 seed. I think that it's obtainable. And which is why games like tonight, I know it was ugly, right? But they won. Boston, they beat LA, right? They beat the Lakers tonight. So
Crush them.
Yeah. So we'll see. I think it's obtainable. What else you got tonight? Got anything else?
Listen, I'm not sure if the Knicks even want to go back to New York, considering it's getting hit with almost 2 feet of snow over the next 3 days.
Good thing they're away.
It's for that game against.
Good thing they're away. They're traveling. They're the good look. It would have been a trip to get to Madison Square Garden, tomorrow. But good thing they're away. And New York City's getting hit with a blizzard. Hey, Mess2128, appreciate you calling in. You're always welcome. Appreciate you. Thanks for the support.
All right.
Good night. Shout out to the callers tonight, man. Shout out to the callers. It's a new caller. I kind of like him. New caller into the Knicks Nation show. I kind of like him. Brings a different element to this show. So shout out to him. Castro, what's going on? Elfigi says, I like Towns' post-game interview. I think it's starting to click. Let me see if I can get that. Karl-Anthony Towns' post-game interview with MSG. He did a post-game interview with MSG. I don't think I can get that. But, yeah, look. The post-game interview with Cat, with Shaq, I said, it is what it is. I think Shaq said some good points. And I know Shaq has been a Knick hater, but Karl-Anthony Towns is all about the team, and he's all about, he's not all about himself. But, man, Shaq wants him to be about himself. No, you got to dominate, bro. If you dominate like you did versus Houston, and if you dominate like you did tonight, the Knicks are a different team. Really good team, especially with everything clicking, right? I know he dominated tonight and it was still close at the end, but still, come April, May, we're going to need this version of Karl-Anthony Towns, a reliable version of Karl-Anthony Towns. When I pass it to you in the post, you're going to post up and you're going to score, right? You're not going to look for a foul. You're not going to have your little offensive hooks that you've done. Come on. But he's just been really Indiana, right? 22. Let me share my screen. Indiana 22-14 and 3 assists, loss. Right? I didn't like that way that looked. Philly 21-11 and 5. I like that game for Karl-Anthony Towns. Detroit 21-11. That's when we wanted Karl-Anthony Towns to, be more physical, get in the paint. Detroit's missing a bunch of centers. Duran, Stewart, and Cat wasn't just playing up to his finest. And maybe he heard the noise and took it upon himself to play better. That's all we can ask for Cat. Just play better. And he did just that. So after the Piston games, he answers with 25-7 versus Houston. Really, really good game versus Houston, especially in the fourth quarter. Big dunk, energizes the team with that dunk. Tonight, 28-11 and 3 steals for Cat. Come on. Let's go. Like, he's talent. He's super talented, guys, which is why it's so frustrating when he reverts back to just playing soft, right? When he plays dominant, when he plays with an attitude, this is what you get from Karl-Anthony Towns. 28, 11, and 3. Right? So let's hope he keeps it up, and let's go. Johnson said if we play like this on Tuesday, a win is unlikely. I don't think they'll play like this, Johnson. You can't compare these games like that. It was a back-to-back. They landed in Chicago at about like 3 a.m. tonight. They'll get a day of rest. Maybe they'll fly to Cleveland tonight. I would assume they're flying. Would you fly back-to-back nights? Or would you fly to Cleveland tomorrow and get I don't know. I don't know what their plan is. You know, maybe get ahead of it, fly there tonight, do a little walkthrough in Cleveland tomorrow, or you fly there tomorrow, right? But you got a day off tomorrow. So I think they would fly there tonight because you would want that kind of day off tomorrow with no travel. You just relax, right? So we'll see. But I think we're going to see a Knicks team motivated on Tuesday in Cleveland. You know, I do. But only time will tell. We really don't know what Knicks team's going to show. Like, I wish I had a magic ball, but I don't know. Like, I'm guessing here. Like, this season has just been a roller coaster, man. It's just been a roller coaster of emotions. One night they're great, one night they suck. I honestly don't know. That's the season, man. It's the most frustrating season. It's like, I don't know, but I'm just hoping they build off of this one and go out there on Tuesday and win. You know, El Figi says Shaq likes to overstep his role as a commentator, but I think his heart's in the right place when he gives advice. Well said. I do. Because even at the end of that interview with Kat, you know, he's bigging up Jersey. He's like, we're Jersey kids, you know, we got to, you know, dominate. And he's just, I just thought that was like a genuine interview with Shaq and Kat. And he just tried to, they never talk. Like Shaq and Kat, it's not like Shaq texts his Kat and calls him, right? So this is probably like Shaq's only opportunity to tell Kat what he feels. And he did that. And I thought Kat responded pretty well. You know? Yes, Chris Gotti says, I want Kat to keep playing like this. If Kat keeps playing like this, that's all we want, right? But that's the problem. He hasn't played like this. But hopefully he can. Here are the defensive player of the game photos for Big Cat. There it is. Deuce McBride, who we were just talking about. Front and center. Sohan, Alvarado, Mikel's always with the peace sign up front. Hukporty, Mo, should have played. Why Cat look like this, man? Let's go, man. Shout out to Cat. Great game for Cat. JC still supporting the squad even though he's not playing. Jordan Clarkson still supporting the squad. Love it. Even though he's out of the rotation. True professional right there. You know, so Kolek in the back. Let's go. Let's go. I like this trend. Started this year, I like this trend. Loosen up the locker room a little bit. I know some people don't like it, but I like this trend. And Cat deserves it. He deserves it. But this is what we've wanted. Like play up to your abilities. Play like a damn all NBA player night in, night out. Let's go. Play like an MVP. And these last 2 nights, he's played like an MVP. For sure. Tanger says JC just tweeted about Cat. Let's go. Love it. Love it. 86 says, where's Cap in the picture? You know, Jalen Brunson not in these picks. I wouldn't. I just, maybe he was like showering or something, or, you know, being occupied or getting treatment, because I think he did get his ankle rolled up on in the first half, Jalen Brunson. So I wouldn't look too into that. So Joel says, would you keep the starting lineup the same or maybe bring in Shamit for Hart? I kind of like Shamit in his role. Because I think if you're not starting Hart, then I don't know. I kind of like Shamit in his role, but at the same time, the starters really don't work well together. Like, this is now 2 years of this, right? Definitions of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And I just think, like, even dating back to last year, when the starters played really well, they were amazing. Like, they were great, awesome, off the charts. But for the majority of the time, it's looked kind of clunky, and you're just hoping that, you know, even last year they kept getting down and by 15, 20 right off the bat. But I just don't think you mess it up right now with Shamit. Shamit's playing so well in his role that once you start switching roles and this and that I just think Hart has been starting for majority of the season. I don't foresee Mike Brown making that change right now. I don't. But you're asking me, I wouldn't do that, but I would give it thought. But I won't give it thought unless you're in a pinch in a playoff series, right? Like, I think if the Knicks are in a pinch in a playoff series and not shooting well, Hart's playing poor, I don't think Mike Brown will be stubborn and keep the same starting lineup. I think he'll switch. So I would wait until the playoffs to see if, because that's when it matters. Like, that's when it's like every game counts, every game matters. But I don't think they'll do that right now. I have an autographed Cat jersey when they played it in Atlanta last year. Oof, I would love that. Shout out to you for getting that. That's awesome. I don't have any Nick autograph stuff. I got to get to that. I got to buy me some jerseys and get them autographed. I mean, I have Brunson jerseys. I have an Anunoby jersey. I have a Randall jersey. I have a Barrett jersey. I have a Melo jersey. But none of them are autographed. I got to get to it. D-Dot says this version of Cat is who we need if we want to win a championship this year. Exactly. Well said. Tanzir says, I think as a Knicks fan, we tend to overreact after every game. At one point, we wanted Hart out of the lineup when he was balling. We missed him, and now we back to the point where we want to bench him. I think the starting lineup doesn't mesh well, and there's no pop. I agree. You know, it's kind of like the Knicks season, right? When they're meshing, they're meshing. When they're not, they look bad. And why Hart, though? Right? Why would you go to Hart? What about Mikal? Nah, he wouldn't do that, but I'm just saying, like, he wouldn't. Mike Brown, if you take Mikal out the starting lineup, that'll break him. So you're not doing that. But I don't know. Hart was playing really well when he got inserted in the starting lineup. Let's remember that. Like, really well for this team. But I wouldn't, like, Shamit's playing so well in his role, and Hart, I know he's having a bad stretch here. I wouldn't mess with things right now. You know, I wouldn't mess with things right now. Unless something has gone off the rails like they did in January, but I wouldn't mess with things right now. I would wait until playoff rounds, playoff series, playoff games, and, like, let's say the Knicks go down 0-2 with this starting lineup, then I would say it's time for a change, because then I would say you would have to shake it up at that point. But during the regular season, like, I wouldn't mess with it right now. So Joel says, I would gladly bench Mikal, but turmoil would happen. Yeah. It's not happening, but the Mikal, like, I don't. Mikal, big three tonight, right? He plays every game. Iron Man. But first half, man, I'm just like, I'm shaking my head. I'm like, look, I understand, like, it is super rare to have a player like Mikal Bridges in today's NBA, right? It's 2026. The days of a player playing in every game are long gone, ladies and gentlemen. Long gone. And here we have Mikal Bridges playing every single night. You don't know what he's going through. You don't know if he's banged up, right? But in the first half, he's out there. I can't help but to witness bad basketball. And that's what happened in the first half. But I don't know. He revealed a lot after that Toronto game, that he was uncoachable and he was going through things. And then you saw the guy, Josh Hart, tweeted about it. Like, we're like, okay, Mikal, now you're good now, right? Everything's good. And then it's like, I just don't know. Like, sometimes I don't think he's happy. Like, I don't know. I'm going to answer everything about Mikal in regards to the playoffs. Like, let's see him in the playoffs again. That's pretty much what it is with this Knicks unit, this Knicks group. If it looks great in the playoffs, great. But if it doesn't, it's not going to say the same, right? But only time will tell. I'm hoping that is not the case, because if there's any year to be close to reaching the NBA Finals, I think it's this year. I know Detroit's big, bad, and really good, but we don't play them again this year, so we'll see. We'll see if we even see them in the playoffs. We'll see if they even advance a couple of rounds, right? So, which is why I want the 2 seed, because let's say you fall down to 4, there's a world where you could play the Pistons in the second round, and I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want that. Figgy says, Josh got 33 minutes and Mikal had 30. They're stagnant. Find 15 minutes combined from these guys and give them to D-Rower. Exactly. It's so simple, right? It's so simple. Mike Brown is struggling right now with the rotations, in my opinion. He's struggling. He's finding some stuff. There's a lot of guys that can play on the roster. But my advice to Mike Brown is to play your guys that have been just been playing really well. Like, I know he's trying to. That's the thing with Sochan. I understand. I understand with Sochan. Like, he just got here. You want to see what he is. You want to see what Sochan can bring. Right? He had some good possessions versus Cade against Detroit. He's a pretty good defender. You want to see what he can bring to the table. And maybe you promise his agent that, look, we'll get you some playing time if you sign with us. Maybe there's some logistics behind the scenes that we're not seeing and we're not talking about. But I would assume that there were some promises made, because Sochan had 10 other interested teams. So now he's with the Knicks and he's playing. And I would give it more than, just tonight without Diarra. Like, I would give it like 10 more games with Sochan, and then I'll be like, okay, we got something here. Or I'll say, okay, we don't have something here, and let's go back to let's continue with Diarra, because I want to see him play, and he should be playing. 86 Smurf says, Stephen A. Smith, the only hope we have of getting to the finals is if somebody else like the Cavs knock off the Pistons first. What do you think? Look, we just came off. I know Pistons are good. Pistons are really good. But if it's Knicks, Pistons, Eastern Conference Finals, I'm still picking the Knicks, guys. Like, as crazy as that may sound, right? I just think the pressure on not winning that series will be massive. Massive. and everyone in the locker room would know it. Everyone. If you don't win that series, you are no longer a Knick. Mikel, Cat, I just think when push comes to shove and we win a couple of rounds and we're looking good and the Pistons are sitting there, Eastern Conference Finals, it's Knicks Pistons, I'm going to get excited. I'm going to be back. I'm just going to be hyped for the series. And I'm just hoping it's 7 good games of great basketball. But you never know. Like, I just can't sit here on February 22nd and just hope that somebody will knock out the Pistons just so I don't face them in the playoffs. Like, I ain't scared of them, right? I don't like comparing last year either. With the last year, the Knicks were winless against Boston and, you know, winless against Cleveland. I don't like doing that because this year's a different year. But I just think the postseason's a different animal, man. Like Jesse says, different beast. It's a different beast. And what I've seen from the Knicks is they got some dogs in the postseason, right? And we just haven't gotten over the hump. And that hump has been the Pacers. We've beaten every team, every contending team in the East that's left, besides the Pacers. We've beaten the Cavs. We've beaten the Pistons. We've beaten the Celtics. We've beaten them all. Now, every year is different. I'm not saying that. I'm not comparing 2 years, 3 years to this year at all. Pistons are good, right? And if the Knicks for a second think that they're going to walk into a series versus Detroit and continue to play like they have been, even though last game they played them, I thought they played them better. Missed a lot of shots. Cade was just on another level. But we'll see, you know. We'll see. I am nervous about them. Coach Sierra, what's going on, Coach? Stephen A. Smith is a fake Knick fan. Chris, Stephen A. Smith is just a fan that's... He's not even a fan. He's playing a game. He's doing a dance. He's generating clicks. He's getting viewers. He's an entertainer. He's doing a dance. He's playing a game. And he's playing it well. Right? Like at some point, that's all he's doing. Hot take. Hot take, Steven. Hot take, Steven. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Once again, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new here. I'm going to head up on out of here. I'll be back on, probably record a podcast tomorrow for you guys. So be on the lookout for that. Hit the notification bell. I don't know, I gotta hit up Chris. But hit the notification bell. I'll be back for sure on Tuesday after the Cleveland Cavalier Knick game. So hopefully they can, you know, win a big game in Cleveland. And we just go from there. But shout out to the members in here. You guys are awesome. Thank you for the support. As always, if you guys wanted to become a member, just hit the join now button down below. Posting more videos on that side, giving you guys discounts to the merch. And the support is just very much well appreciated, honestly. Building the Knicks Nation channel. You guys have been awesome. And it's Let's Go Knicks. Have a great night. Stay safe. I'm Anthony from Knicks Nation. And I'll catch you next time. Peace.
Brunson a three. Bang! Jalen Brunson does it again!